How's it going today, guys? So today we're going to be talking about how to invest $1,000 in 2018. Now, I made one of these videos last year and it was one of my most popular videos, and so I figured I would remake this video and talk more about this and how this applies to investing in 2018. Now, before I get into this video, guys, I just want to remind you that I have my free course on how to find a great investment. The link for that is in the description below. I already have 9 different lessons in there, and I'm going to be adding more to that every single week. So if you guys want to join that right now, it's totally free, and the link for that is in the description below. But anyways, let's get into the video here and talk more about how to invest $1,000 in 2018. Now, I'm going to make an assumption here that most of you guys are looking to invest $1,000 in the stock market. So this is going to be about how to invest $1,000 in the stock market, and maybe you're somebody who wants to invest in something like real estate or gold or cryptos, and that's not really what we're going to cover in this video. This is going to focus on investing $1,000 into the stock market. Now, I'm also assuming that if you're investing $1,000 that you are a beginner and you are new to the stock market, and that is why I recommend this right here. And this is just my recommendation. You guys do not need to follow this, but my piece of advice to you guys is invest in no more than 2 things, okay? Now, we're going to talk about what things you can invest in later on in this video, but a common mistake I see people make when they start investing is they buy 5, 10, 15 different stocks, and they think they're diversifying, but really what they are doing is they are buying too much that they can even keep track of. If you're investing in a company, you want to be keeping track of that company, keeping track of earnings reports, jumping on conference calls, and if you're following 15 or 20 different companies, if that's more than you can keep track of, you should not be investing in all of those different companies out there, especially as a beginner. I would much rather see somebody who is new at this investing in 1 or 2 good blue chip companies and learning how to keep track of that company, and then over time adding more investments. I always lean more towards having a leaner portfolio as far as less companies to keep track of. That's just my own personal strategy. If you guys want to invest in 10 different stocks, that's completely up to you, but just make sure that you can keep track of all those different companies. But I see 3 different options as far as investing $1,000. Option number 1 would be to invest in 100% stocks. And as somebody who is a beginner, I would recommend looking at blue chip stocks. A great place to start is looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Option number 2 is to invest 100% in index funds. We're going to talk about that more. I've done a lot of videos about index funds, and the way you're going to invest in them is through ETFs. It's an exchange-traded fund, which allows you to invest in shares of an index fund just like you're buying shares of a stock. And then option number 3 involves both of these, where you're investing 50% of your money in stocks, hopefully blue chip stocks, and 50% into index funds, or in this case, just one index fund, because I'm going to follow the rule of investing in no more than 2 things. So first of all, let's look at how to invest $1,000 in blue chip stocks. Let's say you're investing 100% into 2 different stocks. Now, these are 2 of my favorite picks. You guys, I encourage you to do your own research and pick your own stocks to invest in. Like I said, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is a great place to start, but just to show you guys the numbers, I wanted to give you guys this example. So let's say you bought 2 shares of Boeing stock at around $350 per share. That would mean you would have $700 invested in Boeing stock. And then let's say you picked up 18 shares of GE at $16 a share. You would then have $288 invested in GE stock. Those are 2 of my favorite picks for 2018. Obviously, GE is a stock that is in recovery mode. So if you guys aren't up to date on what is going on with GE, I would stay away from that investment. But again, like I said, I encourage you guys to go out there and find your own companies you wish to invest in. But if you did this right here, you would have about 70% of your money in Boeing stock and 30% of it in GE, and that would be your $1,000 investment. Now, option number 2 is to invest 100% of your money into these index funds through ETFs, the exchange-traded funds. And of course, as I've said before, I always recommend the Vanguard ETFs, as they have some of the best products out there and the lowest expense ratios. If you guys, again, want more information on ETFs and index funds, I've done countless videos talking about that. I will link one up at the end of this video as well. But just for example's sake, you could buy 2 shares of VOO, that is the Vanguard 500 index fund. fund. It tracks the performance of the S&P 500, and that's going to give you good diversification among U.S. companies. And that's about $260 a share right now, so you would have $520 invested in the Vanguard 500 fund. And then I would look at shares of VT, which is the Vanguard Total World Stock ETF, which is going to give you exposure to the entire global stock market. That is as diversified as you can go. And right now, those are around $80 a share. So you could buy 6 shares for about $480, and that's going to give you roughly a 50-50 split from the Vanguard 500 fund and then the Vanguard Total World Stock ETF as well. And that's not a bad portfolio right there, and that's one you can build upon. As you have more money, you just continue to put half of your money in one fund and half in the other, and maybe down the road you decide you want to buy some individual stocks as well. And then the third and final way here, guys, would be to do 50% stocks and 50% of the money into an ETF. And my example would be, again, 2 shares of VOO, the Vanguard 500 fund, at $260 a share, so about $520 there. And then 11 shares of CSCO, which is Cisco, and they're currently about $42 a share, so you'd have about $462 invested there. And that's close to a 50-50 split, obviously a little bit more there in the Vanguard 500 fund, but that's going to give you a great blue chip stock and a great ETF as well. Now, the last thing I want to say here, guys, is before you invest money in something outside of yourself, I always recommend first investing in yourself, whether it be through starting your own business or investing in some kind of course. That way you can learn a more valuable skill to earn more money, or maybe you want to buy books or things like that. I always recommend investing in yourself first, especially as a young person. And then when you have extra money, that is when you think about investing in things like stocks or real estate, cryptos, any of that stuff that people invest in. But I'm just going to assume that these people that are watching this video, you've already invested in yourself and in your education, and you're just looking to put $1,000 to work in the market. Anyways, guys, that is all I got for this video. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to be notified of any future uploads. And as always, I thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you are interested in learning more about investing in the stock market, I've created a free course just for you. The link is in the description below. Here are a few other videos you might enjoy as well.